Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Malvika Shankar, President, SEA GC Media Group. On behalf of Global CIO Forum and the entire team at GC Media Group, it gives me great pleasure to welcome you all to the World CIO 200 2023 Rise of the Power. This is the edition for Hong Kong and Vietnam. The World CIO 200 Summit spans across 50 countries, connecting with over 5,000 technology leaders. Our theme this year is all about the rise of the power, and we are excited to explore what this means for IT leadership around the world. The journey has been incredible, and we have grown tremendously with the support of our global CIO community, industry players and stakeholders, and our country partners. With the ear of the eagle, we are reminded of the great strength and vision of this majestic bird. And in many cultures, the eagle symbolizes leadership, power, and vision, but most importantly, focus. We believe that these are key qualities that IT leaders need to cultivate in order to succeed in today's fast-paced and ever-changing business environment. To give you a little bit of background on World CIO 200, established in 2017, World CIO 200 is a multi-country CIO felicitation ceremony that recognizes the achievements of the digital leaders of today. The World CIO 200 Awards by Global CIO Forum is not a competition, but a celebration of amazing work of the CIOs and technology heads, a celebration of their efforts and their achievements, a celebration of the hard work and the dedication of their teams and their organizations, a celebration of the digital future that is here, and one more thing, a celebration of the human connection of our trusted network. At the Global CIO Forum, we not only provide our members with an exchange forum for best IT leadership strategies and practices to enhance business results, but we are also developing a strong voice to ensure that CIOs and technology leaders are represented at key industry and government decision tables. In other words, integrate, influence, impact. Our team has relentlessly researched and worked towards reaching out to many more IT leaders to put a spotlight on their tremendous work, effort, and sweat that they have toiled to bring their business up to speed in these fast changing business times. Congratulations in advance to all the winners. For the edition of World CIO 200 Hong Kong and Vietnam, Global CIO Forum would like to thank our supporting partners. Techniplus, your partner for digital transformation. RosettaNet GS1 Digital Standards Consortium, Singapore. Data Literacy Association, Hong Kong. Thank you. Do look out for a number of seminars, webinars, roundtables, and one-on-one interviews to bring to the community together across business, private equity, government channels, and education institutions. With our magazine, Business Transformation Asia, we at GC Media Group are dedicated to the region to bring the technological solutions, transformative learnings, and perspectives to our community. We are committed to highlight discussions on how business, technology, and customers go hand in hand in this huge surge of transformation. Our expansion plans in the region have been immense, and our efforts have brought in more physical events in countries here in Southeast Asia. I am delighted to welcome my friend Manoj Saxena, Chairman, RosettaNet GS1 Digital Standards Consortium, Singapore, who has brought to the forum his tremendous expertise in technology, his dedication to expand the network, and his thought leadership that has helped in creating various discussion streams and research work that has been extremely helpful for all our leaders. Hi, Manoj, over to you.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to CIO 200 2023 edition. I'm excited to speak from Singapore on the success stories across two good organizations, RosettaNet Singapore GS1 and Global CIO Forum and CASS. It's been a great journey in the last 3 years with the kind of network and the good practices we have shared. And I'm very excited to share a bit of updates on what's happening across two regions. Let me get started. I'd like to share about Rosternet Singapore GS1 organization. It's an organization which has been there for more than 2 decades, and we have contributed a lot for the industry, government, and education institutions. I will share a few updates for you to know what's happening in a non-profit standards organization. The value proposition of Rosternet Singapore is we have given a lot of standards that is needed by the industry. For example, your barcode, your RFID, the B2B XML standards across two organizations, right? So this has been there for more than 20 to 30 years. And if you go, the last count when we did about XML standards between Rosternet organizations like companies like HP, Apple, and many more have used, the revenue contribution is easily to 5 trillion and above, right? As we speak, the Fortune 500 uses 500 companies use it regularly, and we are going beyond what we already have given it to the industry, right? So what do we do other than building standard? How do we get the value propositions? There are a lot of challenges, and the technology changes, the industry changes, and the standards also need to change. So we help from this consortium to gather the use cases, work with the government and education institutions, and make sure the standards are commercialized and give it back to the industry legally, authenticatedly, and so that the more and more solutions can be created, right, in that context. While we do that, it is not easy. It's easier said than done, right? So we need to collaborate with different affiliates in the region, like Edifest from Europe, GS1 organization in every country. There's one affiliate for Singapore and the chair. And we have Global CIO Forum, which is very active in UAE and in US. And we try to collaborate with them with the C-suite network. And the most recent one is IMCASS, right? CIO as a service. I'll talk about it a little later. So some good projects we have done together with Roster Singapore and Global CIO Forum during the COVID and pandemic, when everything was locked down and the supply chain was scrambled, we went ahead and did a research to capture the moment in time for the industry to see where the industry is and how the new normal is going to look like. So we did a 360 degrees research, and there was a good outcome which came about to help the industry in the recovery strategies. So two main things which came out from that research outcomes, which I am personally very interested, is uh, we have done enough in the standards, but now the use cases and the solutions are moving to the edge. So there is a need for from the research it came out that there is a need to have standards for the industry 4.0 solutions like your IoTs of the world, the AIs of the world, the blockchains of the world. It is kind of disorganized or disjointed. We need to work with the government to create standards so that the solutions, when it's created by an MNC or a startup, it is kind of acknowledged by the government as well. The second thing which came about is sustainability. So these two have the outcomes, and we are trying to align some programs to address that. One active program which we are working today is with IMDA Singapore with a program called Trade Trust right from 2020 to address the blockchain and document verification process, where you will where the industries, SMEs, banks, and the whole of cross borders freight forwarders and 3PLs can use it without having any paper, or it can go even paperless. So Singapore government is taking a lead, and we are trying to get to every country to see how we can make an impact. And we, as from Restaurant Singapore and Global CI Forum, we are trying to endorse this program and help the adoption and make the standard the future standard. And research I spoke about, and IMCAS is a very interesting option which came about from the C-suite, from the Global CIO Forum, where they need a neutral platform where they can raise a voice and they can have a sounding board. I'll speak about it a little later in the coming slides. And to make this all happen, we work with the universities, and we co-innovate with startups and with the companies to do a matchmaking and set up center of excellences, most preferably in the education institutions, so that the talent can be built and the future standards can be used. When the standards are ready, the talent also is ready, right? For all these things, we operate very much in the zero cost model. It's all driven by volunteer evangelists and passionate people who are keen in solving industry problems and giving it back to the tech community. It's all voluntary collaboration and cross borders. So we've been there for 20 years, and we plan to go for another 10 or 10 or more years to solve industry problems. So it's an organization which will stay and continue. So let me go on to CAAS, right? CIO as a service. It's a very new initiative, initiated or a spin-off from Global CIO Forum. I would say it's a wish list which came about from all the C-suite to have a common platform to do more than an event or just having a one-on-one talk, right? So I'm happy to say that we had a very successful launch of this initiative as an organization in November 2022. So as you can see, there are leaders from different geographies, from US, from UAE, from Saudi Arabia, India, and Singapore, where I am based, and I'm helping this initiative from here. So we're really excited to have this and take it forward for benefiting the CIO and the leadership community cross borders. One of those things which I have volunteered to drive as part of CAS is sustainability, right? So I've taken the role of global head of sustainability, green, ESG, and circular economy. So all these are the terms we hear, and every time company, individuals, students, they all get confused on what is this and how is the industry going to go and where the standards are going to be influenced for sustainability. So we are going to start with the very strategic approach of following the United Nations 2030 goals, which is like a triple bottom line, they call it these days in sustainability. You have to take care of all the three quadrants, not just profitability or forgetting about planet. So we want to take care of planet, people, and profitability with a new concept called triple bottom line. That is the framework for sustainability. So I'm very keen to do this, and I'm looking forward to work with the industry and the standards organization to bring it back to the industry and build this vertical for CAS. So who is going to be benefited from CAS? CIO as a service, right? So basically, the ask is we want to have someone to talk to, a CIO to talk to for our, or how do we create a roadmap? How do we talk about which technology is working in which industry? What is the learning from one industry to another industry? All these are like in pockets in silos. So CAS, I am the CIO as a service platform, is trying to bring all these to have that conversation going. As leaders, you can benefit from this. You can participate, you can contribute, and on voluntary basis, or you want to probably take some big program and run, like I'm doing it for sustainability, for example, and also get the services from the other leaders if you want in a neutral platform. So that's what the leaders will get. The industry as such is going to be very benefited because we are not restricting it to one industry. The learning from one industry can go to another industry, and one geography to another geography, for example. And there'll be a lot of handshakes of learning best practices, leverage, through this CS platform. So it's kind of being built as a total package, right? And then we are not forgetting we're not only focusing on Fortune 500, we are also very candid about ISVs and startups, which is forming a greater side of the tech community and the solutions for the product companies. So we will encourage the co-partnership matchmaking where you want to invest, where you have innovation, where you want to take it forward from a standard side, where I can help from a pilot side, where you want to work with some MNCs, we will help you to facilitate that. And that's a major thing, or maybe investors who want to invest, for example. All that is in the charter. And working with the government, which is closer to what I just started off with the GS1 organization. It's very important that whatever we do, we understand where the standards are going, and or if we need help from the government, standards, sponsorship, budget, all that we can do cross borders. So I'm very keen and very active on that, and I look forward to take it from a CAS standpoint as well. Not forgetting education institutions, which will play a key role in startups, incubation, talent, and also bringing the content and the training program as the technology is changing and schools play a major part, education institutions play a major part in bringing talent to the table. So very excited, and CAS SS has got everybody in mind, and you all are going to benefit from this. So what's the call for action? If any of you feel that you want to be part of this initiative in some shape and form, and if it's sustainability, I'm happy to take the lead and reach out to me or reach out to the IMCS organization. We are more than happy to have volunteers and the people who are going to contribute and benefit from this platform, and take it forward. That you don't have a one-off event, but you can take it as an ongoing thing and benefit across geographies. With this, I would like to end the session, and looking forward to meet you in the forthcoming events, and wish you all the best for the winners. Thank you.
Thank you, Manoj. I'm delighted now to welcome Aaron Lee, Chief Technology Officer, YF Life Insurance. He is the ambassador for Global CIO Forum, Hong Kong. Aaron Lee supports and helps to expand the network in Hong Kong. Over to you, Aaron.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, because I'm very happy This is my great honor to be the ambassador for Global CIO Forum, particularly for World CIO 200 Award, Hong Kong edition. So this is my great honor that because I'm from I'm from YF Life, okay, Chief Technology Officer. My role is in charge for disrupt technology, how to impart good technology, helping the customer, helping our internal policy processing, using the technology help them to implement the great system. So my role is in charge for the service management. So this is my great honor to be the ambassador, helping Global CIO Forum to promote the importance and the key roles of CIO, how to help the company. So I have a very happy to be the award winner last year. So this year, thanks for Marika invitations, I to be a ambassador on behalf of Hong Kong edition. So this key role to me is a very important because this is a good chance for me to promote, to collaborate all good IT leaders within the regions. The IT leaders in Hong Kong are facing many problems. So how do we leverage the good technologies and build up the good community amongst all the CIO is very important. So we are facing the pandemic challenge. At the same time, now we are doing some recovering stuff. So, but the business now is a dramatic changes, particularly in Hong Kong, because Hong Kong keep a very important role for, the gateway for Greater China. So our key roles, as a CIO or CTO, have to help help our customer, help our whole enterprise, how to leverage the key technology, fully utilize our know-how, and help them to improve the internal productivities and enhance our capabilities, do more business for the company. At the same time, we have to also take care, particularly for the key topics like ESG, how to use less energy, more green energy to solve the earth problem. Like make sure we are using less carbon oxidized approach to help our organization using the green IT strategies. So I think now we are all the good winner is well deserved. So I think we can set up a good community using our know-how to help the whole city. In Hong Kong, Taiwan, and Greater China, Hong Kong play the role is the gateway for Greater China region. So Hong Kong can help China the most of the good technology promote to the other countries. So Hong Kong also have a bunch of good IT professionals, good best practice because our financial situation compared with the other cities, we are quite strong. So this time we have many categories of a CIO award already named in our final list. So most of the expertise now we are grouped together. We would like to form the synergy to help the whole Hong Kong city. I believe this CIO award is kind of just beginning, help us to line up all good resources, get the support from like Global CIO Forum, GEC Media, even we have a CIO as a service, this kind of good organization and initiative. We promote our Hong Kong technology brand, go to the world. Good global exposure help the whole city to be a very advanced and result-oriented, business-oriented city. So this is my sharing. I hope everyone enjoy today Hong Kong Edition CIO Forum. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, Aaron. We now welcome Rizwan Khan, Acclaim Vietnam, for the Vietnam country keynote. Over to you, Rizwan.
Thank you very much for the introduction. Hello, everyone. I'm Rizwan Khan, partner at Acclaim Vietnam. And it's my pleasure to give a keynote speech on the World CIO 200 Summit on Southeast Asia. So we will start with a presentation. Today, the topic is about the evolving role of CIO in the era of automation and AI. So we all talk about AI very often, and especially it's more relevant nowadays. So we just take a look at how the CIO roles have been evolved during the last 2-3 years, especially during and post-COVID period. So first of all, we take a look at the priorities and challenges for a CIO today. As we all are aware that the things have been moving very fast, especially in cybersecurity area. I understand that sometimes the CIOs are not responsible for cybersecurity, but in many organizations where the CISO do not exist, so CIO take on the role of security challenges as well. So according to a report, the top priorities in 2023 for CIOs are cloud computing, AI or machine learning, and data lake or lake house. So these are the top priorities that CIOs are focusing. And if we look at AI, the role of AI is perhaps going to overtake the cloud computing priorities very soon in the coming time. So that means that there are certain challenges that the CIO they have to face, and they have to address them. And some of them are, for example, ensuring cybersecurity and compliance. With the compliance level enhancing all over the world, whether it is data privacy, data protection, or any other compliance, the CIOs are focusing more and more on the compliance matters as well as the cybersecurity, and that enhances the challenges that they have been facing a few years ago. The second challenge that they are facing is the priorities that they need to balance in an uncertain economy. Overall, the economic situation around the world is quite uncertain. In some markets, the economy is not as uncertain as other markets. So, for example, Vietnam, the economic hardship is not as severe as in other parts of the world. However, even in those markets, CIOs need to balance the budget. They need to balance with the technology and also as the availability. Another challenge that CIOs are facing is improving the customer experience and data privacy and protection. Apart from the compliance, the real actual operation also needs to be addressed properly. And more data breaches are actually putting CIO on their foot all the time. They are losing their sleep as well to ensure that the data is properly secured. Then there have been more developments going on in artificial intelligence and machine learning environment. So that means that with the top priority being cloud computing and AI, that means that CIO have to leverage on those two areas and ensure that they align with the business strategy well. Another challenge that have been the big problem for CIO was the supply chain, and this go for both ways. That means that the supply chain of the technology that was available, there have been shortage of different devices around the world, and there is a reason for that, but that is one thing. The other thing is that because of COVID, there have been supply chain issues for the consumer and the customer as well. So all these things need CIO to address the issues on a timely basis to ensure that the company's products and services are delivered on time, number one, and number two, that the technology is available when it is needed. And this sometimes result in increased cost, and that means that the budget, the CIOs have to spend more than the budget they have been given. Another issue is addressing the political, economic, societal technology and legal issues, and that especially the political, economy and social issues are more important to be addressed, because the landscape has been changing around the world. If you look at the overall situation, so the world is changing and evolving at the same time. So that is another challenge. Another thing is during COVID, what CIOs have seen very commonly is that employees, they have gone back to remote work. And it is one of the challenge that how to address those and bring employees to the office, especially with Gen Z. It is one of a challenge. It's one of the bigger challenge that the CIOs are facing, because almost 2/3 of the workers, they don't want to go back to office, and they found it that it is more efficient that they could work from home. And that means that whatever changes needs to be done, that is one aspect. And then the maintaining office environment is another aspect, as well as the spread of infrastructure pretty much globally. So that is one of the things. The other thing is that the buy-in from the senior leaders in terms of adopting to new technology and leveraging on AI. So these are some of the challenges that CIOs are facing nowadays, and it makes very important that CIO address them on a timely manner. One of the things that I have seen, especially in the emerging and developing markets, is that the digital transformation is taking place very fast. And that means that the CIOs need to address those challenges as well. Okay, let me cut here. I will start from point 7 again. And so you can actually merge after point 6.
Sure.
Okay. I will start in 3, 2, 1. The next challenge is about mitigating employee resistance for adopting new technology and work environment. During COVID, we have seen that employees have been working from office, and that especially for Gen Z, where the challenges are more severe because they prefer to work from home. Roughly about 2/3 of the workforce, they prefer to work from home or work from anywhere. So that means that the CIOs need to ensure that the infrastructure is not spread around the world, and also the cybersecurity challenges become more intense. Coupled with this one is the buy-in from the senior leaders. That means that they have to ensure that the right technology in place, and that means that the budget may be overspent, or there are other challenges. So this is one of the things that CIOs need to focus. And the last one is about ensuring the effectiveness and interoperability of the digital transformation projects. In emerging markets like Vietnam or other developing markets, digital transformation is the way forward. And then CIOs are spending a lot of time on these projects in order to ensure that their existing infrastructure is evolving, number one, and number two, that their businesses are going more digital than they are right now. So this is less of a challenge for technology-based companies, for example, in fintech and other areas. However, these pose more challenge for companies that are in, for example, traditional manufacturing or service delivery, etc. So let's see how a CIO could become a true CIO 4.0 to leverage on AI. So there are a variety of AI available. So our focus will be mainly on 2 types of AI, generative AI and cognitive AI. So first we take a look at that what benefits generative AI is offering to CIO, at least for now. And that means that the generative AI may become more advanced. However, for the time being, what generative AI can do for CIO. So one of the things is that it could actually improve the productivity, growth, and innovation for CIO. And it basically gives more ideas to CIO what they could do. And in the past, what was not possible or for example, you had to make a prototype, or you had to look into simulation, etc. Generative AI is actually helping CIO to avoid those barriers. The second one is the reimagining the technology function and incorporating the generative AI in software development, IT operations, as well as other areas as well. So for the time being, we focus only on DevOps, but also DevSecOps are perhaps where the generative AI is adding more value, or it will add more value in the coming time. And this becomes more relevant with all the threats that CIO are facing on cybersecurity front. Another thing is that CIO have been blamed very often is about the hidden cost or exceeding cost, as well as the calculation of ROI. So CIOs are generally not finance savvy people. That means that they have to find an assistant who could actually help them to identify the true cost in terms of outage, in terms of out-of-pocket expenses, etc., as well as to look into the what are the actual ROI on the IT projects. So this can be done by having a financial AI based on generative AI to provide a more enhanced picture of the true cost and the ROI of IT projects. The next one is about making available the standardized model for product and application team in order to ensure that they are working within the boundaries of those teams. So this is where generative AI can be very helpful in terms of providing all these models to the teams on demand. So that means that the AI will be taking care of, for example, the versions, for example, the revisions and other model as well. Another challenge that more and more CIOs are facing is upskilling, and this is becoming more challenging, especially Gen Z, that they have a very different mindset when it comes to dealing with the technology as compared to Gen X or Gen Y. And I usually refer to people who are in 40s and 50s, that those people perhaps are one of the best people to deal with the technology issues as of now, because those are the people who have seen that technology did not work and they really had to fix it manually, as opposed to Gen Z, who may be more tech savvy when it comes to mobile devices. However, they did not experience the pleasure of dial-up internet or other breakdowns of the infrastructure that those who have seen when those who are in 40s and 50s. So therefore, it is important that generative AI can be used to upskill the key role, as well as enabling the non-tech work employees to work on certain areas where they need the support from the IT department. So this is one of the area where the IT department could spare more time from the non-tech employees in order to handle their queries and other aspect, where in the past, before AI, they have to spend a lot of time to explain to them. But with generative AI, it actually enabled them to free up the time and focus more on the other issues as compared to just spending with the non-tech employees. So if you look at in a nutshell, what AI, CIO, and cybersecurity could do for the time being, as of it is now. So what it could do is to automate the routine tasks and identify potential threats at a much earlier stage than it would come to notice later on. So AI is your assistant. AI can help CIO to find a lot of things based on the patterns, but that means that AI need to be trained as well. So that means the training model is important, but AI can help potential threats much faster than human beings. The other thing CIOs could do is to train the AI to deal with simple tasks first before they move to more complex and sensitive areas. So that means that it is more like training AI to go step by step, understanding the organizational structure, understanding the IT infrastructure, and then performing certain tasks that could be automated more easily than more complex tasks, for example, protecting from ransomware and other malware. Then it means when the simple task could be done by AI, that means that the smart people will be available. They have more time to make certain decisions that AI should not or could not make. So, for example, when it comes to some ethical decision making or when it comes to some strategic decision, that means that human beings will be available to evaluate that and at the same time training the AI to ensure that those decisions could be taken care of in the future. Another thing that could be done by AI for CIO is to train the generative AI, create new threats and testing preparedness of the cybersecurity function of the organization, but definitely it needs to be done in a confined or controlled environment. That means that we are creating the threats with us and then we use those threats to ensure that whether our infrastructure is ready to handle those threats or not. And the last but not the least is the biggest challenge is that to ensure that once you train the AI, then that AI cannot be hijacked. So most, or in fact, all AI models are designed in a way that you have to train the AI and then it will start learning more and more later on. But if you train AI for your infrastructure, for the threats that you have checked, so that means you have to ensure that that AI model is not become public. And then the other malicious actors or other threat actors, they could use your AI to use against you. So it is more like the villain you are creating, but making sure that it is not going to work against you. So if we look at some of the AI-powered cybersecurity solutions, and these are only some of them, but there are more coming. So for example, IBM Security QRadar Advisor with Watson. So it uses cognitive AI to investigate indicators of compromise and gain critical insight. So this is important because it will actually learn and it sees that whether there have been some compromise to the cybersecurity, and then it will see that how it happened and then what are the lessons learned. Another one is FortiEDR. It provides endpoint security and detection using AI to block and isolate malware and ransomware. If you look at the ransomware, perhaps it is one of the biggest challenges, especially with industrial IoT and other devices. And when integrated industrial facilities are working, then ransomware becomes a major challenge. I have been working in the past with machines that where we are implementing Industry 4.0, and it was one of the biggest challenge how to ensure that the machines are secure at all time. So these are the challenges that these tools could address. Another one could be UEBA solutions that uses AI to analyze the activity of certain devices, generally nodes, but devices, server, and users to identify unusual behavior that could suggest that the zero-day attack is underway or it is imminent. So these are some of the tools that the CIOs could use to ensure that they are utilizing AI potential to its fullest as it is available today. And then it could help CIOs to further enhance their capabilities. So in a nutshell, that AI is going to help CIO to perform their duties in a more efficient and effective manner. However, it has cost, and then also it has its challenges. And then the biggest challenge perhaps is to ensure that the AI model that you are training will not be misutilized or will not be hijacked by other actors in order to threaten your organization even more. Thank you very much for listening to my keynote speech.
Thank you, Rizwan. We now move to bring you the panel discussion, which is on our theme, The Rise of the Power, that will discuss the emerging role of CIOs, technology heads in the face of changing business and AI environment. technology trends, and industry-specific insights. I would like to introduce our panel, and it's a pleasure to have Dr. Tua Cham to moderate the panel. Dr. Cham has amassed over 3 decades of experience in the innovation and technology industry. He is the founding chairman, Data Literacy Association, associate professor and EMBA associate director, CUHK Business School, chairman of a portfolio of elite startups in Asia. More, we have Dr. Andy Luke, head of digital transformation and insights, HK Express Airways. We also have Darren Sun, head of information technology, Hong Kong Housing Society. And we have Stephen Leung, head of IT, the Bank of East Asia Limited. Thank you so much, everyone, to be here. And over to you, Dr. Cham.
Hi, everybody. So this is Dr. Cham. So it's my honor to be the moderator of this CIO panel. So we'll talk about the new role of CIO in this disruptive and rapidly changing world. So it's my honor to have 3 elite CIOs from Hong Kong. So they will share their views today. So may I just go one round? So Andy, Darren, and Stephen, you can further introduce yourself a little bit. So before we start, so Andy, can you start?
Yes. First of all, thank you, Dr. Cham. This is Andy here. I'm right now the head of digital transformation and insight at Hong Kong Express Airways. So, guys, you may know Hong Kong Express is the only low-cost carrier in Hong Kong, which is the fully subsidiary of Cathay Pacific starting from 5 years ago. And my role here is actually managing and overseeing the entire airline's transformation journey, which is I covered the digital technology deployment, the digital culture transformation, also the big data analytics, and all sort of the automation initiative within the airlines. So my pleasure here, and look forward to have a great discussion with my fellow panel members. Thank you.
Thank you, Andy. It's good to have you here. So Darren also, can you introduce yourself a little bit?
Okay, thanks, Dr. Cham. I'm Darren Sun, the head of IT at Hong Kong Housing Society. I would say myself is an IT, fintech, PropTech, cybersecurity, and internal audit professional with years of experience in the financial service industry and the public sector. Before joining the public sector, I spent over 20 years with top-tier financial institutions, where I held different positions, including AVP of Information Technology and Asia IT Audit Head, etc. I'd love to speak at the public conference and universities, and I'm actively participating in professional bodies by playing some roles, including the VP and Treasurer of ISACA Hong Kong chapter, Vice Chairman of the Institute of Financial Technologists of Asia, IFTA, and Chairman of the Cybersecurity Committee of CMA Australia, Hong Kong, etc. I also love to participate in public or community services by taking some leadership roles, including the President of Lions Club of Hong Kong, IFC, President of PolyU Computing Alumni Association, VP of Skull Association of Yoshim District, etc. I'm happy to be here to share my insight with my fellow CIO here. Thank you.
Thank you, Darren. Good to have you here. So the last one is Stephen. So Stephen, can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, Dr. Cham, thank you. Thank you all. So I'm Stephen. So I'm the head of IT and FinTech development of the Bank of East Asia in Hong Kong. So BEA is a local bank in Hong Kong, very strong proposition, very long history. So I help looking after all the IT services here, including the FinTech and development. And I have over 25 years experience working across the Hong Kong, Chinese, European, and American banks. And I have a strong passion for innovation, and I believe technology plays a crucial role in driving growth of the financial industry. And I look forward to a fruitful discussions today with you guys. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Stephen. Good to have you with us today. So we have three different CIOs in different industries. So we can look at the growth of digital world from different perspective today. So without further delay, I will start the first question quite related to the topic today, which is the role of CIO. In the last few years, the disruptive technologies around here, right? Last year, we talk about metaverse. This year, we talk about generative AI. And also the role of CIO in any companies has been changing. It's not like the stereotype of IT head, looking at all these hardware, security, and cloud computing only. Rather, people are expecting more in terms of digital transformation, innovation, and strategy from the IT head. So I would like to understand more, and you can help us understand more. Uh, how do you transition from a traditional IT head to become a new role, which need to take care of a lot more like business, innovation, digital transformation? So how do you help yourself and help your team to transit to this new era so you can meet the expectation of your company? Andy, can you start first?
Sure, my pleasure. I think my background is a little bit different. Actually, I grew and evolved myself. Actually, my background is from business and from marketing. And I also teach university concurrently. So in Hong Kong Express, my companies right now, actually my airlines is a quite new airlines. We only have like 10 years of history. And luckily, by the time we started the whole digital transformation journey, I think roughly around like 5 years ago, the CIO at that time, he had a very smart mind. IT and digital at that time, we already have a different focus starting 5 years ago. So IT is a very clear, they have a very clear responsibility, which they add on basic like the IT infrastructure, the cybersecurity, the system analysis, all kind of this stuff. But rather at that time, because the company they would like our markets are major mainly on the young generation, the millennial and centennials. So at that time, 5 years ago, they set a very aggressive roadmap, which the digital team or the digital transformation team, we mainly cover all sort of the automation, which is transforming the legacy system into much more cloud-based system. How we leverage the different data analytics, or even we started the data science initiative a couple of years ago. Culture, the channels, integration, also of this, the responsibility has been very clear cut. So that at that time we are positioning as one of the team that we need to transform it in a way that all short of the objective, all short of the KPI, are all tied with the business objective. And until like I think 9 months ago, you guys may know Cafe has new CEO Ronald. He succeeded as a CEO as a company, and his background is very strong, especially before he was IT veteran. He made a very strong strategy and very clear cut that Hongkong Express must be transformed into a digital company that is selling air travel. So that all short of by the time we receive this kind of the top-down instruction, the organization structure change to be much more agile. The entire role and mission of the team, we focus more on the culture transformation, not only with the digital culture, but rather we also where they had to transform in the business perspective, which we adopted the agile transformation. And then we are actively deploying short of the talent in Hong Kong that is helping us to boost our data analytic capability in unstructured data. So we actually move very fast. in response to metaverse, just like Dr. Cham has mentioned, we actually was the first airline in the world, okay, to build the POC in metaverse. And then we are actually the first airline in the world to adopt the GPT, the GPT-4, the open AI and generative AI throughout the whole environment. So I think the structure, the strategy, and also the people we hire actually reflecting the entire journey of change, but it's only happened maybe within a very short period of time. What I'm talking about is like 12 to 18 months of time. So I think this is a sum shot of the role change for the typical and conventional CTO or CIO, transforming into much more right now is a highly oriented, digital-oriented role for the entire team for Hong Kong Express. So I think this is a journey pretty much we are undergoing right now.
Very good, Andy. I think you point out the right thing. I think not the traditional technical role has to be changed in terms of not just technology, but culture. And start from there, and you also introducing methodology like agile, and also you in terms of alignment with the business, the KPIs, and all those things. And I think it's happening in your organization. It's good to know. So that is very important. But one thing is, still the existing staff, whether they're IT or not IT, they are probably still living in the old world. So later on in the second or third question, we'll go a little bit more in terms of challenge, right? So the people used to doing programming, you ask them to do a lot more to integrate with business and the digital transformation. I'm sure that there would be some lessons that we can learn from Andy later on. So thank you, Andy. So Darren, so can you share a little bit about your case?
Sure. Actually, as I mentioned before, I was the HIT audit head of a insurance company. So I learned from team that we have to build a relationship with the business unit to treat ourselves as a business partner of the business unit. So I adopt the same approach when I rejoined the IT world. I think we have to understand the business and then to how to use technology to enable the business goals. I think it's quite important because we understand there are a lot of different technologies in the world, but we have to find the right solution to our business unit, to our users. So first of all, we have to build a relationship and understand the business operation so that we understand their pain point and to find the right solution to address their pain points. So actually, digital transformation is nothing new in the financial institutions. I think around 20 something years before, when I worked in the MPF industry, I think that was the first mega project in Hong Kong to transform the traditional pension business to mandatory provident fund business. At that time, I think we did a lot of digital transformation. So when I joined the property management or property development industry, I find that they still using quite a lot of papers, many work compared with financial institution. I think there is at least 10 years or 10 years plus years gap here. And I think I agree with Dr. Andy is that the culture is the first challenge I have to tackle. So I think because of the exposure, the business user may not know how technology can help them. Especially when I work in a very traditional organization right now, they just follow some traditional manual procedures, the traditional workflow. They don't understand how technology can help them. And so when I joined this organization few years before, first of all, I spent time to talk with the top management, including the CEO and the board member, and to understand their expectation and their pain point on the business operation. So and then I prepared a IT strategy and roadmap to explain to them that how technology can help them, not only for cost saving, but also we can improve the operating efficiency and effectiveness. And then I started some small project at the beginning, and to get the small success, to give them trust and confidence how technology can help them. And then during the last few years, I did a lot of digital transformation project, and I still working on our digital transformation journey. And they are willing to, I mean the board and also CEO are willing to spend more money for me to uplift our infrastructure, and also spend more money to adopt some new technology. For example, AI. When ChatGPT released in November last year, I already proposed to use AI in our organization. Talking about I proposed something in January early this year. So we worked very closely with some business partner, but I think before we roll out this kind of emerging technologies, we have to make sure we have sufficient procedure and policy to avoid people to abuse this kind of technologies. And also we have to consider some cybersecurity. So I think change is a key element for digital transformation. No matter the change of the mindset of our business user and the top management, and also for my staff. As I mentioned, that we are the business partner of our user. So I think I have to inject this kind of mindset to my colleagues so that we can provide the service. Actually, I think nowadays, IT is a service provider to provide the technical solution service to our business user to enable their business goals. I think it takes time, but I think I can see the result during the past few years' effort. So I will continue to go for this way so that we can transform the whole organization from a very traditional one to a more digital company.
Yeah, thank you. I think you got a challenging job because you're working for a traditional company. Right. And there's a lot of people still with the older mindset. So whether it's IT or non-IT. So it's like you said, I like the word business partner. I think it's pretty good. It's a partnership. And also you have the service mindset, service provider. That means serving the customer, understand their pain points. And also you have to cascade down to your IT colleagues. Whether you have the mindset, it doesn't have to be they have the mindset as well. So how you can make them change as well. So I think this is a pretty good way to look at it. And you start from a small project and build up the trust, and then step by step you're getting there. So that's really good. Thank you, Darren. So Stephen, how about in financial services, right? So can you share a little bit more about how you transform yourself with your team and how to work with your colleagues to make the digital transformation work?
Thank you, Dr. Cham. So I agree so much about the Andy and also Darren talk about the culture change. So I come from bank. So in Hong Kong, we are quite luxury that we have the regulator, Hong Kong MA, directions on fintech development. They have a very clear 2025 fintech vision in place. So in BAA, we have a very clear digital strategy to drive our digital transformation and also fintech adoption within the bank. So, and we also have witnessed significant changes in terms of, technologies, tools, and also process. We have dedicated team to drive the transformation and innovation, and also encourage all the colleagues to create small innovation for their day-to-day work. We also maintain a very open-minded approach to embrace the latest development of technologies while and ensuring a very cautious implementation. Everyone knows the bank is doing risk management business, right? So, but however, we recognize the most critical factor enabling these changes is all about the mindset and culture. So the changes of mindset involves adopting a new way of working. Say, for example, by introducing the agile way of work to enhance the time to market and flexibility of our solutions, and also enabling us to keep up with the rapid change market. But it's not easy. Agile is, everybody nowadays talk about agile, but some of them are leveraging the agile word is to minimize the documentations, but also keep the requirements in the very high level without any details. This kind of cultural change makes sometimes make the IT guys frustrated on how we progress the very quality of coding, and despite all the outcomes, we have to do it very clean and tidy in order to give a very stable financial product and services to our customer, right? So this kind of cultural shock, I would say. So another example, Dr. Chan will be very familiar, is the data. So we equip our staff with data and fintech literacy training, and also empower and encourage them to leverage the new technologies and data when developing new and operation model. So we talk about innovation is not only the the slogan. So how we streamline and also really disrupt what we are doing in Hong Kong is very essential. Now I'm in China now, right? So I'm very impressed on anything happening here, how they disrupt and also make the real innovation here. So I really think about Hong Kong really need to catch up. So finally, I think as a CIO, technology continues to advance in an unprecedented pace. So I think we as a CIO have to keep the organization ahead of the curve, and while also preparing the top management and also our colleagues for the potential changes that may arise. So that's very important. It's not only about catching up, but how we prepare like 6 months, even in 1 year ahead, so that they won't be feeling surprised. So I heard about the generative AI, the GPT that Darren and also Andy mentioned about. This is not to the organizations, they just know what is ChatGPT. They the audience or the people here, they don't care much about the GPT. What is it behind? But how they use it, the experience, what kind of things. So how we as a CIO to prepare them in advance, like 6 months before, so that when the product is there in the market, the user can really grab it like with a strong business case, instead of just asking a CIO how we can apply it into the organization's kind of questions. We have to turn it around, be more effective, and how we think about how to disrupt, align all the innovations, idea, directions within the organizations.
Very good, Stephen. So I think Stephen used a word called empower, and Darren used the word business partner. I think this is quite aligned, right? So not only we are serving them, but also I think, Stephen, you got a very good point, empower them as well. When they are being empowered, they probably can understand why they need to make these changes in terms of technologies and innovation. So empowerment is a very good way to really helping us do. Some people saying that we do not have digital transformation. We only have transformation in digital world. So it really means different thing, right? So it's actually a transformation. That's why three of you mentioned about the word change. So I would like to go one step deeper on whatever you just described, what you're doing and you have been doing. I ask you, what is the biggest challenge when you're trying to achieve what you plan to do? What is the biggest challenge? Maybe you can give some example as well. Back to you, Andy. So what is that?
Actually, a lot of difficulties and a lot of headwinds in our industry jargon. I think first of all, I think we have two or three major challenges. I think the first challenges will be about how to managing the expectation from the business partners. Before I took up the role as the head of transformation in the airlines, I think I almost in this position for 2 years. I think 2 years ago, the digital team in Hong Kong Express was pretty small. The scope for the team was very restricted. And then people just thinking the digital team is just like some sort of the cosmetic for the entire business operations. And then when the time I tried to restart the engine again, people actually don't have any kind of expectation, or even the team, they didn't have a good faith on the whole companies. So when the time we trying to produce or trying to co-create some sort of the products with them, very often the expectation could not meet. Maybe in some circumstances, some of the scenario is that maybe the departments or the business unit, they just didn't know what they didn't know. Okay. Or maybe sometime my team was to have a sort of a sense of urgency. We want to put everything we regard is a good or we regard is a great, and we're trying to pitch them. And finally, I remember 12 months ago, when the time we had a internal kudos, we compete with different departments within the companies. Actually, by that time, December last year, we had already delivered over 12 digital products. Some of the very fancy ones, something is very practical one. But finally, my team was defeated by 3 interns by they just simple doing a very simple app, okay, within a very limited scope of work. So that represented the expectation could not be met, and we are unable to manage the expectation of the business user. So I think this is the first challenges that I encountered with. But right now, the situation in the past 4 or 5 months, the situation showed a tremendous improvement after I in place short of the new strategy, what I call a total digitalization roadmap. That is tracking or planning for a much more longer and holistic transformation journey for specific BU. The second challenge is I will think it will be the compliance issue that I think all of us are actually encountering, which the data privacy. When the time we talk about, we want to know more, we want to dig deep on the customer behavior, so we're trying to do much more predictions, everything like this. Our compliance, the data privacy, the entire GDPR, make it as gradually, progressively, it will become much more tighter in the past 12 months. I think this is something quite difficult to solve, especially when the cafe, our parent company cafe, they're trying to tighten it, and then Hong Kong Express just follow it. But how we can ensure the data democratization? We on one hand, we want to promote the data usage. We want to make the data ready to use. But on the other hand, okay, we have a very conflicting position of the compliance issue of the companies. This still, for me, is a challenge concurrently. The third, I think, will be the talents, the digital talents in Hong Kong. Talent as an asset, either we can build or we can acquire. But frankly, Hong Kong Express is a low-cost airways. We are very cost cautious. So that, especially 2 years ago, we are still operating during the pandemic situation. We actually could not attract any people, any digital talent joining the companies. And people think just thought that the airlines is going to die. So how should I join the dying industry? But at the same time, I could not wait. So another way is I need to build. And then I trying to track some of the talents. Maybe they were not originally from the digital industry. Maybe some of them right now, 3 of my team members were actually come from their cabin crew. They are FA, and then they just changed their track and then joined the digital team. And then I just need to build the team from scratch, and then trying to educate, trying to build the competence from scratch, trying to train them up, and trying to make them going up to speed. Right now, the travel market is reopened a bit better, but we're still encountering. I think may not be the airline challenge. Maybe it is a universal issue in Hong Kong as well. So that I think this challenge will hopefully can be resolved in a short period of time, along with the rebound of the travel industry. So I think for myself, it will be 3 major challenges in the past 24 months of time.
Very good analysis, Andy. I think the customer expectation, compliance, and how do you balance compliance and innovation in the investment? And last but not least, the one I liked most is the talents and how you work around in terms of shortage of talent, particular in your industry. So I like that one. You actually with skills the non-IT people to the digital team. And that's something I think we can learn, even we are in the post-COVID time right now. We still can reskill people from different departments or different professions to go into digital team. I think that's one way to resolve our IT shortage, talent shortage issue. So thanks for sharing, Andy. So Darren, so what are your major challenges?
I think you can imagine that I'm working in a very traditional organization. So the main challenge is about the culture, because people are used to use manual process, manual work, and they prefer to use paper form. So I use the same tactics to start a huge project by starting from a small scale one to get the small success. Using example is about the rollout of RPA, robotic process automation. So I understand the pain point of our accounting department is they have to deal with a lot of figures, which is some tasks say the bank rec is very tedious and very boring work. So and also easy to have some human error. So I understand this pain point, and then I understand that RPA can help them to improve the efficiency and eliminate the human error. Because for our organization, they have to spend I think at least around one man month every month to deal with the bank rec. So after I understand this pain point, I work with the vendor to introduce RPA to our organization, starting from to do some lobbying with the top management, including the CFO, because I think I chose RPA because we spend not too much money, but we can see the result quickly. So I introduce RPA to our top management. They love it, and they understand that it can eliminate the human error and also to release some resources to do other more valuable work. So I think this is my tactics to roll out something new in my organization, to by starting from a small project to get small success, and then to get the top management buy-in. And also and other tactics is starting from the more friendly or small department. For my organization, the key stakeholders, one of the key stakeholders is property management
division, we have around 2/3 of staff belonging to the property management division. So it is not easy to introduce something new to this division because they have to consider a lot of operation risks or some operational concern. So using the RPA as an example, after we got a success in the accounting department, the property management director came to me and say, hey, we want to explore how to use RPA to automate some of our manual process. So now we have a lot of business process using RPA for property management. So I also adopt similar tactics. For example, for when I roll out some say e-form, because we want to, one of the key element for digital transformation, the first step is digitization and also digitalization. So e-form is a way to let our user to see the result. So I starting from finance and accounting department and also HR department. So now we have, I think, should be around 100 e-form nowadays. We still developing some new e-form. So again, we starting from accounting and HR, and then now we have a lot of e-form developed for the property management department. So I think starting from a small success is a key, and also we have to starting or working on some project that user can easily to see the result and the effect in a very short period, rather than we tell them, oh, we have a mega project that we can see a result 3 years later. Then it will be very difficult and very challenging to get the top management buy-in.
So I think you point out very good way is we need to start small and find a friendly teams or departments to start with. So that's one way to start changing the culture, right? So it's very important tactic, like you said. So I think it's our very good point, recommendation. Stephen, so how about yourself? I know you have been facing a lot of challenges being known you. So maybe you can share a little bit more with us in this transformation journey. So what sort of major challenges you are facing?
Yeah, sure, Dr. Cham. I think the first one I would say would be the risk mindset. As I mentioned earlier, the bank is doing risk management business, right? So I believe we are all open to embrace, innovation and emerging technologies. But I always said we must also protect our clients' assets and beware all the potential risks of the new technologies. Just like you guys, you put all the monies in the bank, right? You hope the bank can protect it for your wealth and health as well, right? So I take the generative AI as an example. So I think it's a very revolutionary and also very disruptive, very powerful in summarizing information, right? But it also, concerns us so much that about the potential risk behind. We don't know what is kind of black box behind that. There's a lot of models generating every day. A lot of data is coming in, but how we can, ethically use it and also how to protect it, no matter data leakage or whatever risk, we have to understand better. So how we strike a balance between the two, between the usage and all the risk management, we need to create a very, solid framework to mitigate this risk and be cautious and also take small steps for the implementation. I shared a bit. Darren has just mentioned it about the tactics, how we start from small, moving step by step, and then we can recalculate and also measure and then we move on. This is very important. I also shared Andy's view about the talent shortage. So yeah, the staff attrition here in Hong Kong is quite important in the past year. So I understand, we all understand there are a lot of migrations due to family issues and whatever opportunities outside Hong Kong. I appreciate that. But honestly, this is quite impacting a lot to the organizations like us. So much domain knowledge have been lost, and quite much talents with the age of like 30 to 40 have left Hong Kong. So how we rebuild such the best team within the organization is one question. So what we are doing is we are lucky enough to have China as a backup. We can set up more offshore center there. We have very good digital talent there, and then we can build it up. I don't say the cost advantage nowadays in China is not cheap, right? But again, there are so many quite competitive digital talents there. But again, I really hope going forward, without location boundaries, we can have a very good location strategy that we attract talents from all over the world, not only China, but also the Western and also the Eastern, so that we can have a better mix, better resilience, not only the server. As a CIO, we don't only manage the server, the network device, but also the people, right? The people is an important asset. So how we build the resilience among the talents is also one key challenge, but I think it's good to do it now, especially all the online tools, process, and all the things. We can do it really quickly and also safely. So the last thing I think is about culture. In BA, I think again is quite lucky. We have a very good team mix with business and also the technical people. So the culture side, I think we don't have much problem, although we are over 100 years history bank. But we have a very good top management team. We promote innovation so that we can now have the best team to move forward under the top-down guidance of our strategy. So I think this three challenges is really happening in Hong Kong, not only in BA, but again, I believe all the CIOs here will have definitely the similar approach to address it, but see how we can move faster going forward. We talk about Web3 and also data, right? AI. So how we grab the chance together with the business is also one future challenge I would see. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Stephen. I think I like your point about the offshoring. So I think talent, IT is nothing without talent, right? No people, we cannot do anything, particularly the experienced people. So I think Andy talked about how we can reskill existing stuff to do more digital stuff, but still not solving the problem wholly. So I think offshoring with our international network, and probably we can build a lot more offshore services or support from all over the world. So to minimize our risk and diversify our risk going this way and strengthen our diversity as well. Probably the side benefit of doing the offshoring is diversity, and diversity probably can bring more innovation to our teams because we can look at things from different perspectives. So I think, Stephen, I think it's the right direction to go to build a very diverse worldwide team to support you, your IT operation. So for the sake of time, I would like to go to, I think we have touched on the challenges and transformation and the way, the practice that you use that everyone learned, including myself. I think one thing, we talk about AI, data empowerment, data literacy and things already. How about we move on? We cannot do things by ourselves, right? So now we talk about, I think Andy talked about co-creation. So how do you leverage on the ecosystem, particularly in Hong Kong, just some time for advertising? So in the last 10 years, Hong Kong created at least 18 unicorns, arguably, and maybe more, right? And also recently we went on second place in terms of emerging startup ecosystem in the world. So definitely something good in our ecosystem we can leverage on. So I would like to see three of you. So how do you leverage on this momentum? How do you leverage on this ecosystem to help you to transform better for your company? Andy, probably you can talk about it.
Hong Kong Express has established an open innovation system, I think 18 months ago, that the entire ecosystem entails the HKSTP, the Science and Technology Park, and held with the local universities like the PolyU and the City U. And we also work with Cathay Pacific. Actually, we work with them day by day for ongoing, because we have a plan to expand in the GBA market, so that one of the universities in Shanghai, Jiao Tong Daxue, we actually has looked them in as the entire open innovation system. And how that system works, because our team is not a huge team, so many of the innovation after we have shot of the ideation in mind. We need to shut out how can we implement the entire MVP, and then within the HK Express, we have relatively strong data science and data analytic team. But for the digital technology deployment, such as, for instance, right now we have a UAV kind of a deep learning aircraft inspection kind of the products. And then the UAV, we could not purchase it, or even we cannot architect or engineering the UAV, how to fly in the hangars, something like this. So in this scenarios, we will always go out to the HKSTP, or we go out to the university to see whether we have a chance for collaboration. And of course, this kind of the collaboration, I'm aiming at the win-win kind of scenario. For instance, for the university, right now we are working with like the PolyU. They also have such kind of the product research proposal in the pipeline, so that we can work together in order to see how we can support each others in order to make this MVP work. So I think we right now in our product portfolios, I think we have around like 6 co-creation products, which those products are much more like a much more sophisticated or cutting edge digital technology, covering the UAV, covering the neural network kind of the what we call RNN data analytic models that is predicting the extreme weather forecast. And we have shot up the experiment to empower a robots to help us doing the surfacing in the airport or even in the cabin. Computer visioning, all short of this, we are on the way to go, so that this kind of the open innovation system not only contribute to the entire product development cycle, but very importantly, when the time we have some sort of like digital summit internally last year. And we had a digital leadership forum just happened a month ago. This is some sort of the training, or maybe we work with those kind of the external partners. They come to share insight, and then they help us to promote, and then we work together to grow each others. So I think we actually are doing quite fast, because comparing with Cathay, by the time they work in this kind of the model, much more they were focusing on sort of like a PR exercise, like Cathay Hackathon, which more like a shot of the annual promotion kind of the activities. But for us, is we really want to see the outcomes and the results, which are long-term beneficial for everyone in the open innovation system. So I think this is something is quite workable in our environment right now.
Very impressive. I didn't know you have done so much in terms of open innovation. I think that's the way to go, right? So definitely you're seeing the outcome, the impact from this collaboration with the ecosystem. How about Darren? Are you doing anything like collaborate with the ecosystem?
Actually, I established the strategic partnership with Cyberport and also Science Park. They will recommend some tech solution to me. Actually, in the past few years, I think I have already reviewed around 100 technology solution, and also adopted some solution in my organization. So I think in one hand, I want to support the local staff, and other hand, I think some solutions are very innovative, and also I think it's a direction that I don't want to do everything by my team. I think there are a lot of off-the-shelf solution that we can adopt quickly and easily to the organization, that user can enjoy the solution quickly, rather than they have to wait for the development. So I think it's very important to have the strategic partnership with the science park no matter in Hong Kong or in overseas. And also I encourage my young professional colleagues to join some open competition. For example, in the past 2 years, I encourage my the young colleagues to join the security hackathon, so that they can learn from some practical competition. I think that can help them to learn some new skill in a short period, and also to increase their exposure. I am still exploring some other hackathon that's suitable for my colleagues. I think 2 or 3 years before, we got the RPA award from CIMA, from CIMA North Asia. I think we are the only one representative from Hong Kong to get the award. I believe we still have a lot of award in coming few years, because last few years I spent time to uplift our infrastructure and also do some POC on some solution. So I think it's time for us to show our muscle to the world. So in coming few years, we will be more active. I think it's very to join this kind of award, and also to have some partnership with the strategic partner is very important to increase the exposure of my colleagues, so that they are brave to do something new, to stimulate their innovative mindset, and also is some evidence to our business partner that we are competent to do something new and something useful that are recognized by outsider. So I think these are very important for both my colleagues and also to my stakeholders.
Very good, Aaron. I think this very encouraging. You actually investing in your staff or colleagues, right? So they're not working within your company. They need to go out for competition.
Yes.
Some of the management might not want to do it because they want them to work at office, right? Now, I think you see the other is, yeah, old school, right? The new school is like what you said, is let them to benchmark or try their best in the competition, so they can learn, and there's a way to change the culture and build up the entrepreneurship as well. So I think it's a good way to do. Thank you, Darren. Okay. So Stephen, I know you started the Beast, which is aimed to do ecosystem collaboration, right? Can you tell us more about this?
Yes, Dr. Cham. I think the development of startup in Hong Kong is really encouraging, and the number of the startups keeps breaking a new record. So I think at BEA, we are very keen to collaborate with the local fintech startups. And as you said, we have set up a collaboration platform called Beast, the BEA and the startups. So the platform engages the bank, the startups, and also the industry partners to co-create innovative fintech partnerships and support the fintech development in Hong Kong. So we are not only adoption, but rather how we share our domain knowledge with the fintech company as well, so that they can really tailor-made the solutions for us, so that we can fit, so that it can fit in better to serve our customers and also our staffs. Right. So in a year time, we have kickstart numerous projects, over 50. So we are hitting 100. So some of them have completed the proof of concept successfully and even converted to the production launch. so which significantly bring value to the business. And I think it's really encouraging and also impressing the business as well. How we do it like low cost, but we really collaborate and also very agile. This time it's really actionable, agile way of work to give a try on every initiative. So regarding the platform, we also receive a number of recognitions from the market. So that how we collaborate also with the Hong Kong Science Park, Cyberport, kind of community partners, how we work together to help Hong Kong. So nowadays we also engage the Israel and also the UK fintech or community, so that how we can do it together, not only in Hong Kong, but how we step out from Hong Kong, and how together with China as well, how we expand our footprint and also bring more good solutions into the greater China and also Hong Kong. So this is very important. So and we also back some of the startups to acquire the government funding. Very, very important. Government is really supportive with money and also actions. And we provide a solid use case for them. The startup technology skills, no brainer. Yeah, they are very good at it, but they don't know how to do business with banks. So we have been providing more solid use cases to them, and we co-create together. And then I think it's a really a win-win situation, which make this model sustainable. It's not only the funding from the BEA, but also from government or other other parties, so that we can really make it sustainable to move forward. We also have been helping the startup company to receive more awards for them. They are very important. It is very important to the startup companies. More eye-catching, more attention, more on the spotlight, so that there will be more business for them, so that they can sustain and also develop better on their R&D, in order to give it back to BA as well, so we can enjoy that advanced technology later on, so that we can learn from each other and then grow with each other. It's very, very important. I think the bank has always been customer centric. We wish to provide full range of product and service to our customers, and then we understand they are looking for a service that are really tailored to their needs. So I think the partnership with the fintech firms enable us to go above and beyond that in fulfilling such a specific request. And that's why we are very keen to work with the fintech ecosystem, and also we build our own platform as well. So that let's see and how we can scale that. And then last time we have another panel discussion, and we understand the government has a really hard number KPI to the community partner like Science Park and Cyberport, like by 2025 reaching 7,000 startups in Hong Kong, right? It's very, really scary. But I think with our determination and our pace and also our hard working, we can make it.
Thank you so much, Stephen. I think I got at least 2 points from you. One is the ecosystem is not limited to Hong Kong. So we're extending to different parts of the world, trying to co-create with all these innovation partners. So that one thing. And the other thing I pick up from you is win-win, which is not just the company or just the startup. Actually, it's helping each other, right? So the startup have innovation. If we collaborate with the company like yourself, that will actually, they have a real use case to test on. For the corporate, you need innovation from all these new startup, new ideas. So it's a win-win. The last but not least is talk about the government, the funding and the ecosystem in Hong Kong. It's no better time than now to come to Hong Kong to innovate. There's so many exciting things happening. In fact, one other project that we're doing is we're building another science park, which is 17 times bigger than the current science park. So it's going to be huge. And so we also the Greater Bay market, which is over 80 million people around us. So there's a lot of things that's going on in Hong Kong with the help from CIO like yourself. Definitely that we'll have a brilliant role ahead of us. So about the future, because for the time, so we have to wrap it up now. So how about the final recommendation from each one of you? So I know the audience probably are from CIO or IT heads or technology heads, right? So what sort of final recommendation you would like to share with them so they can do this transformation better? Andy, you want to start first?
I think 3 words. First of all, be agile. Second, be innovative. The the third one will be brave. I think sometimes we will encounter a lot of headwinds, and we will receive not every time will be compliment, but more often will be sort of the bad things or bad word or something not favorite to the digital operation. But as a CIO, we need to take the lead to make change. And I think this is something that we should do in order to lead the organization forward. So I think this is three things that I would like to recommend.
Thank you, Andy. Agile, innovate, and brave. Thank you. Darren?
For me, I want to use 3C to summarize. The first C is change. Change is the only constant in the world. So don't be afraid change. We have to confront and embrace the change. Business, I believe the business will be changed more frequently in coming few years. So we have to get ready ourselves. So this will introduce a second C, competence. We have to develop ourselves and also our staff to uplift our skill and ready to address the change in the coming years. The first C is communication that I emphasize, because nowadays IT we have to provide service to enable business. So we have to develop a very close communication protocol with our stakeholders and also with our staff, because we have to convey our vision to our staff and also the stakeholders to execute our strategy. So communication is very important for this digital transformation journey.
Very good. Couldn't agree more. Change, competence, and communication. 3 C's. Thank you. Yes. So, Stephen?
If I look at the virtual background, is the theme of this year is rise of the power, right? So I think as a CIO, we need to think like a real business leader, and then even take the business target as your own target. And then the business will understand that you are really helping them. And then you will be able to also think of more innovative solutions to achieve them and resolve all their pain points. I think new technologies could seem intimidating to some people, right? And there may be resistance to change. But I still believe that it's all right to start small, like Darren mentioned, achieve quick wins, and then build on the success to make further improvements. And I think by demonstrating our commitment to innovation and delivering the tangible outcome and results, we can easily convince the top management and also the business sponsor and also our colleagues around us that embracing new technologies is the way forward. We have that engine, and we are the engines to help the world move forward. Not talk about the fintech, but also whatever tech and also ESG, whatever hot topics in the world. They all need technologies nowadays. So I think as a CIO, we are really lucky to work in this field, right? In no matter we are in different industry, but again, I'm so proud of being at technologies, and we build something every day. Yeah.
Build something every day. I think the role of CIOs is even more influential and impactful than the last 30 years I was in the IT industry. So definitely, Stephen, you have a big burden, but also it's a happy journey because you are the engine, like you said. You're helping. You're taking the business goals as your goals, right? So that would be empathy. That is very important. So I think it's a very good way to wrap up this section of panel discussion. So we all learned a lot, including myself. I'm sure that audience like you know a lot. And now we're doing it virtually, but hopefully in the future we can meet each other. I think we only have 1 hour or so today. Definitely a lot more things we haven't covered, go into detail. I hope we can see each other physically, face to face soon. So you can have a chat with me and Stephen and Darren and Andy later on. Thank you so much for your attention, and I'll see you soon. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We now start the awards for World CIO 200 2023, Hong Kong and Vietnam. Presenting the awards for Master Category Hong Kong. Ivan Wu. Zhou Xiao. Darren Sun. We now present the Legend Category Awards for Hong Kong. Dr. Andy Luke. Dave Chen. Arthur Wong. Alan Wong. Yi Yu. Stephen Leung. Lei Chen Ta. Christian Picardi. Alex Fa. Ravel Lai. Supwa Kwok. Aaron Lee. We now present the Leader Category Award, Vietnam. Pham Ha. Presenting the Master Category Awards. Tuan An Pham. Rahul Shinde. We now present the Legend Category Award with Quang Tran Pham Quang Kelvin. Rizwan Khan. With that, we come to the end of our award ceremony for World CIO 200 2023, Hong Kong and Vietnam. Congratulations to all the winners, and thank you all, our speakers, for their time today. The World CIO 200 Roadshow continues, and we have completed in Malaysia, Philippines as well. We will see you next in Singapore edition and the Indonesia edition. We once again thank our supporting partners, Technoplus, your partner for digital transformation, Rosetta Net GS1 Digital Standards Consortium Singapore, Data Literacy Association Hong Kong. We are curating various events, discussions, and fun times for all of us to bond together. Do look out for our announcements, and we look forward to your participation. Thank you very much. Good evening.